Thank you. How many of you have already had your coffee this morning?
Working on it.
Awesome. How many didn't need coffee? You're just automatically this beautiful this early. All right. All right. Well, welcome. You are in the Leaders Have Courses, and that means you session. I am Katie Hornor, and I blog, among other places, at theblogconnection.com and bloggingsuccessfully.com. And some people call me the movement maker. We're going to talk a little bit about the movements that we've had a part of in a second. But the thing we want to focus on this morning is your movement and what you are doing to get your message out and make a bigger impact with your platform. So we'll go ahead and get started. But at the end of this session, just so you know what to expect, this is a 50-minute session. And by the end of it, I plan to be sure that you understand how to plan your course, how to create your content, and then how to publish that course. So we'll be going through those 3 simple steps as we move through this hour, and we will have a little bit of time for questions at the end. Okay? All right. So if you want the handouts for this session, I'll go ahead and give you this link now if you want to take a picture. It will be at bloggingsuccessfully.com/FinCon18. You'll be able to download that handout, no email required. You can pull it up on your phone as we go along, but we'll also be showing it here on the screen. Everybody got that picture? All right, welcome. Come on in, find a seat. Anywhere you like. Very good. All right, so one of the stats that I saw recently was actually a FinCon attendee stat, statistic that said that 22 to 28% of you, the attendees of this event, have courses. So that means there are a whole lot of you who could still create a course and be able to benefit from that and have your people benefit from that as well. So let's see a show of hands. How many of you in this room already have a course? Awesome, about half. How many of you have an idea for a course? Great. Anybody hoping that an idea will fall from the sky today? Wonderful. Okay. So what I'd like to have you do right now is just turn to the person next to you or across the row from you. And first of all, say good morning, beautiful. Good morning. Very good, very good. All right. Now I'd like you to tell them what your course is or what your course idea is. Go ahead and share that with someone. Let's vocalize it.
Yes. All right.
All right. Very good. Okay, anybody want to be brave and tell us what your course is? Someone who's already got a course, want to shout it out? Anybody want to share what your course is that you've already created? Yes, Tracy.
My course is blogging 201. It takes you beyond, like, okay, I have a blog, but I figure out what do I do next? What is my legal stuff?
Awesome. Okay, great. So Tracy, folks, has a course, a blogging 101. I'm just repeating this for the audio. And it takes you from how do I start a blog to how do I get going? What kind of legal stuff do I need on my site? How do I get that blog up and running? Okay, from those of you who want to create a course, let's have somebody share your course idea. What is it that you want to create a course about? Yes, sir.
It's called Man School.
Man School.
Yeah, it's just an idea for involves fitness and nutrition, but also dating advice for college-age guys.
Awesome. So fitness and nutrition for college-age guys. Yes, back in the back.
We're doing one called Ultimate Real Estate Magic for Realtors.
Ultimate Real Estate Magic for Realtors. Wonderful. All right, so today's session is going to help you learn how to increase your impact, increase your ROI for your time by creating that course or creating your next course. So we're going to go through some best practices here in a minute to help you create that course. But first of all, I want to give you a little bit more information about why courses can be so powerful. So if you were a college professor, and let's say you teach 3 classes of 50 students each every semester, right? That would equal about 300 students per year. Okay, so that's a pretty good impact. You're impacting a lot of people. In a 40-year career, let's say you teach from age 25 to age 65, you're going to impact 12,000 people over that lifetime career, right? How many of you would agree that's a lot of people? That's a big impact, right? Let's look at the income side of that. A college professor, I looked up, did a little research here for Florida, an adjunct professor at the University of Central Florida makes approximately $24,000 a year. So if you multiply that by 40 years of a career, that comes out to $960,000 over a lifetime. So if you look at the time put into that, if we say there's approximately 324 teaching hours, plus 108 office hours, plus about 50 hours of meetings each year, that will come out to about $49 an hour for a professor at the University of Central Florida here in Florida. So still a pretty good hourly rate. So an online instructor though, if you take that same class that he is teaching at that college and you take it online, let's say instead of just teaching 2 semesters, now we can launch it once every quarter. We can teach 4 times a year this class, and we can have 300 students in the class each time. So now I'm impacting 1,200 students every year. Okay, a bit more than the 300 for the real-life professor, all right, or the IRL classes. So we're going virtual with the classes. We're able to 4 times the amount of students that we can impact. Over a 40-year career, again, from age 25 to 65, if we launched this class once every quarter, we would impact 48,000 people in our lifetime. So you can see the impact multiplies incredibly when you go to an online course. That same online instructor, you think of 1,200 people a year times $499 a class, that is a yearly wage of $598,800 in a year, okay? Multiply that times 40 years, and the lifetime income then becomes $23,952,000. So 9 to 18 hours of teaching that online class one time, plus maybe 22 hours of promotion spread out over each time that you're promoting it. Guess what the hourly wage comes to? $14,970 an hour when you go from real life classes to online courses. And so that is the power of the impact, the multiplication of our time and our ROI. So again, just to show you side by side what this looks like, your college professor, 300 students a year, online, 1,200 students a year. $49 an hour versus $14,970 an hour. 12,000 lifetime impact, 480,000 people impacted over a lifetime of online courses. And again, that income level goes from $960,000 to over $23 million in a lifetime of online instruction. So incredible opportunity in the online space. 40 times more impact and 25 times more income when you take that real life class and you start teaching it in the virtual world. You can reach people anywhere in the world and incredibly multiply your impact. So I think you can see just from the numbers and the data that this is an incredibly powerful way to increase the number of lives that you touch and the income that you make. So in my own experience over the last 6 years, we have produced over 40 books, 40 book titles and educational resources. We currently have over 15 courses available online, plus an online summit that we are hosting in October of this year. And in the last 16 months alone, we've had over 5,500 students go through our courses, one or more of our courses. So this has generated thousands of dollars of revenue, growing our income, growing our impact, growing our email list, which then, of course, all of that compounds to allow you to do more and reach more people with what you're doing. My personal story, for those of you who don't know us, we moved to Mexico in 2007. So we have lived as expats for the last 11 years. We went originally to do mission work. We were supported completely by donations from people in the States who wanted to invest in the work that we were doing among the nationals there. And then the economy crisis in the States in 2010, and a couple of ministry changes, and all of a sudden people were like, yeah, we're not sending you money anymore. But we wanted to stay. And so we had to create a business that would allow us to stay and do what we knew we were supposed to be doing. And so in all of that, we decided to start a business. We had no savings. We had no credit cards. We couldn't get a loan because we had no credit history. We had family who did not agree with what we were doing and wouldn't loan it to us from that direction. And so we were really on our own. We had to bootstrap everything from the beginning. We started creating these educational resources and courses that has brought us to where we are today. So this is a picture of my family. We have 5 children, and then my husband over on the left. We created in 2012 what is lemonhouse.com, and this today is the only literature-based preschool to 6th grade homeschool curriculum for Spanish-speaking home educators in the world. There was about 2 or 3 curriculums available when we started. Now there's 5 or 6, but ours is the only one that is literature-based and completely in the Spanish language. My background was in education, and that was where we saw the need that we could fill. So we started doing that, but when I started, I also told my husband, when this starts making money for us, I want to be able to tell other people how to make money online, just like we're doing. Find that financial freedom, find a way to impact others with their message. And so then in 2014, we were able to create the Blog Connection and also start training bloggers and influencers how to monetize and create your own products and resources, which has brought us to where we are today. So then in 2016, we were able to buy a 250-something-year-old colonial house there in Campeche, Mexico. And the picture on the left is the artist's depiction of what the house will look like once it's completely restored. We have a long-term plan to see that house a bed and breakfast and a retreat center for homeschool families or ministry families who just need time to get away and heal. But part of that actually came to pass in 2018, this year, when we opened a coffee shop out of the front room of that house. So among all of the other entrepreneurial things that we do, some of the courses we've created have allowed us to do this. And I share this with you all because I know each of you have a dream. Each of you have a message that you want to share. You have dreams of things that you can do. And when you multiply your impact and you multiply your income by creating those courses, impacting more lives, sharing it with more people, you're able to make steps to accomplish those dreams that you have in your hearts. Your message matters, and those courses allow you to grow your income so that you can share that message and go after those dreams. So, simple is superior. That's one of my favorite sayings. And one day, one of my clients came up to me and said, "Katie, you've got all of these courses. How do I make one? Don't you have a course that tells me how to make a course?" And I was like, "Well, we'll have to do that, won't we?" And so we did create a course. But today we're going to boil that down into the simplest of steps and show you the 3 most important steps so that you can actually walk out of here today with what you need to put your course together. So, in the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to go through those 3 simple steps so that you can plan your course, create your course, and know how to publish your course by the end of this session. One of my favorite quotes from Pat Flynn, smartpassiveincome.com, who says, "If you want to change a person's life, you have to change their day first." All of us want to make an impact. We have a message that we're sharing, whether that is financial freedom, whether that is budgeting, whether it's early retirement, whatever that message happens to be, we want to change their life. We want to make an impact. You can't do that over the long run unless you solve one simple problem first. So going back to that simple is superior, I want you to think about with your course, what is the one problem that you solve in your course? We don't need a course that solves the next 10 problems. We just need a course that solves the one problem that is front and center in your people's minds. What is it that they come to you asking about? That one thing. Let's start by changing their day, and then we can change their life. So step 1, what is that one single problem that you have that you can solve? You need to plan. And part of the planning process is knowing what that single learning objective is. So in my teaching background, we had to always in our lesson plans create a learning objective. What is it that these kids or these students are going to learn at the end of this class or the end of this semester of classes? Okay, so what is that one single objective? What do you want them to walk away saying, "I know how to do that now. She gave me the solution to that problem." You want to walk backwards from that solution and make it very, very simple, step by step, what they need to do. The single learning objective. Make it very clear. Clearly define those goals. At the end of this class, you will be able to X, Y, Z. okay? Clearly define that, because when you can clearly define it, they know what they're getting, and they will buy in much faster than if it's very objective for them, okay? So have a clearly defined goal, and then in your planning stage, you also want to set your time frame. When do you want to launch this course, and how long is it going to take people to finish it? Start at the end and work backwards, all right? If I want to launch this course at the end of March, and I know I'm going to need a month and a half to record the videos, that backs me up to mid-January, all right? And then I've got to write out the content, which may take me 3 or 4 weeks, and we've got Christmas thrown in there. So I'm going to have to start with the content probably around Thanksgiving or before, depending on my travel schedule, right? And then how long is it going to take to create the visuals for it, or create the downloads that go with it? How long will it take for me to write the swipe copy and the promotional things, or get images created to go with my course? You've got to give yourself more than enough time to do that. So you start with your launch date, and you work backwards with how long each step is going to take, so you know. And if that's not enough time, then we know we've got to push our launch out further. Maybe I don't need to launch until May, because it's going to take me a whole lot longer to get done what I need to do. Okay, so that way you don't get down to the wire and all stressed out because I didn't give myself enough time to create a good product. So you set your time frame, and then you want to decide on your hosting or delivery platform. So there are many, many platforms that you can choose from when you go to put your course out there, put it online for folks. You can always do a self-hosted course or an email delivery type course. Those tend to be a little bit more basic and often used as maybe a free opt-in type of course. But once you get into a larger course or a higher dollar course, then you really want to look at hosting it on a course platform of some kind. My personal favorite is Teachable, and full disclosure, I am an affiliate for them, but they're not paying me to include that here. I love that platform, but the other options that you have besides Teachable would be Udemy, Thinkific, Kajabi, Rizuku. You can search, just go do a Google search online for course platforms or course creation platforms, and you're going to come up with an incredible list of different types of platforms that you can use. But one of the reasons that I like Teachable is that depending on what state you're in, you may or may not have digital product sales taxes. And Teachable handles all of those sales taxes for you wherever you are. So with my LLC being in North Carolina, and they do charge the sales tax on digital products like that, I didn't want to have to mess with it. Being overseas, I've got enough stuff to worry about. And so we went with Teachable for that main reason, that they handle all of the sales taxes for things like that. They handle the VAT taxes, and they also have an incredible affiliate program that I just have to set up the percentage, and they handle all of the rest of it as far as paying out the affiliates. So that is an awesome platform, and those are some of the things that you want to look at too. You need to know, if I'm going to sell a course in my state, what are the tax laws? Is this a taxable product, being a digital product? And then you want to think about the affiliates. If I'm going to ask people to help me promote this course in exchange for a commission, how am I going to do that? Does the course platform I'm looking at provide that option for me, or am I going to have to find something else and understand that? So that's another thing that you want to keep in mind as you're in the planning stages of this course, so you don't get down to the wire and be like, how do I do an affiliate program? It launches in 2 weeks, right? So figure that out in advance, and you will be ahead of the game. So step 1 is planning. Your single learning objective, your clearly defined goals, both for yourself as the teacher and for your students, and then setting the time frame and knowing what platform you want to use and what they offer as far as features. Okay? So then, this year at Social Media Marketing World, I met an amazing man who has since become my mentor and a business coach to my husband and myself. And one of the things that June said to me recently is, he said, Katie, when you're teaching a class, when you're speaking on a stage, or when you're coaching those clients of yours, you need to keep this in mind, ICE. And he spelled it out for me: inspire, challenge, and equip. So when you're teaching, when you're creating this material for people, you are definitely giving them data. You're giving them information. You're giving them what they need to do the job to get the result that you're offering. But you also want to remember to inspire them. You want to challenge them, but not overwhelm them. And so knowing who your people are and what that specific problem is, that clearly defined outcome and goal, is going to help you be able to inspire and challenge without overwhelming, and then you can come and equip with the step-by-step information that you're offering to get them from point A to point B and get that desired outcome. Your goal is to inspire, challenge, and equip whenever you're creating online courses. Step number 2 is to produce the content. So moving from planning to production, step number 2, again, remembering that we want to inspire and challenge and equip. We want to get that solution to that single problem for these people. So a lot of people ask me, Katie, how long does the course need to be? How long do I need, how much content do I put into this? And my answer is, it depends on you and your people and the outcome you're teaching. How much time do you need to teach them? How much time does it need to take them from point A to point B? That's how long your course should be. And it's going to be different for everyone depending on your niche and your people and your teaching style. So how long does it need to be? As long as you need to teach that single outcome sufficiently, to do it well, to inspire and challenge and equip them to do that. You may want to break it into chunks, and nowadays with people's attention span, I believe Claudia said in her session the other day, attention spans are now the attention span of a goldfish, right? So people have shorter attention spans. They want to be able to consume content in shorter amounts. So if you have modules in your course, anywhere from 3 to 6 modules is about normal. And then inside of each of those modules, you may have anywhere from 1 to 5 lessons that teach a specific part, that specific step. All right, so 3 to 6 modules is a great place to start. Inside of that, anywhere from 1 to 5 lessons usually is not overwhelming. And you keep it short, 3 to 10 minute videos, okay? So 3 minutes is enough to teach that one step, that's all you need. If you need 10 minutes to explain it fully, then take 10 minutes. But people generally will not sit down and consume more than a 10-minute video unless it's extremely engaging, more like a movie. And so if you're up to producing that kind of content, go for it. If that's the way your people want to consume it, that's great. But for most people these days, we're consuming content in smaller and smaller chunks. And so it's better to have more lessons that are shorter and teach one specific step at a time. Does that make sense? Awesome. Okay, so we don't want to overwhelm them. We want to make it doable. We want to give them what they paid for and more. We always want to exceed their expectations. This is what I told them I would give them, but I always want to give them a little bit more as well. And what does that do? It increases their confidence in themselves. It increases their confidence in me as the instructor. It increases the word of mouth promotion that they will be doing as they share this with their friends after the fact. And it increases the overall results that we get by over-delivering in everything we do. So part of producing is to create that outline, which we're going to get to in the next slide, and then the syllabus, and then actually putting the content together. And so when you think about the content portion, you also need to know ahead of time, is it going to be video? Is it going to be audio? Is it going to be text? Is it going to be video and audio with a transcript? How am I going to present this? Okay, am I going to have a Facebook group or something like that, an additional coaching session that I add on to reinforce the content that they're getting inside of the course? All of that is things that you need to take into consideration as you plan this content portion so that you know how long it will take you to produce it and produce it well. So with your syllabus, there are some things that you need to include in a syllabus, and again, this comes from my teaching background. So this may be way overboard for some of you, depending on your topic and your niche, and for others of you, it may be the bare minimum. And so you take this and adapt it to your niche and your topic and go from there. But generally, in a syllabus, you want to include the teacher contact info. I have registered for courses and get in there, it doesn't even have the instructor's name on the inside. Okay, they want to know you, they trust you enough to sign up for this. Give them a way to contact you and follow up with the information that you're teaching. You also want to explain if you have any prerequisites. Is there anything that you are expecting them to know in advance before they get in here so that they are better prepared to get that one single result that you are offering? Make that clear right up front. Is there a book that they need to read? Is there a special skill they need to have? Do you have some other free content on your site somewhere that can bring them up to speed? Put all of that in your course syllabus so that the minute they get in there, they can start making progress on that course. dates and deadlines. If this is a dated course where you're going to be starting the 1st of October and you're going to release new content each week, then go ahead and put those dates in there so people know what to expect, so that they don't think that they're going to just get access to everything immediately. They know that this is going to be portioned out and that one builds upon the other. Put the dates in there so they can put it on the calendar. Are you going to have meetings or forum sessions or live coaching involved with your course? Those dates and times need to be in there. Let them know where they go, how do they join that class for the live interaction, or join the Facebook group or the forum for the discussion time that goes with each lesson. If you have teacher-provided materials that you have created for this course, downloads, additional videos, additional content, you need to include links to that in the syllabus. If you have links to other content, additional supporting content, or things that will take their learning even further, like this gets you from A to B, but this will take you to the next step, you can also include that in your syllabus. Again, any kind of course content summary. So we're going back to that one single thing. What is it that we're going to do? Lay that out again very clearly for them so they know what to expect in your course. Your learning objectives, your assignment dates, if there's anything they need to turn into you for any kind of feedback, and that needs to be done by a certain date so that you have time to get through it all and offer sufficient feedback for them. Put those dates in there so they know immediately what to expect. And then your course policies. Especially if you are including any kind of live video, Zoom calls, or live discussions in the Facebook group. If you want to have, if your course or your topic is of the type where you need a non-disclosure agreement, or you need to state in your policy that these videos will only be shared within our group, they're not to be shared outside of the group, you need to have, just like we had photo releases for the headshots here yesterday. If their face is going to be shown on that Zoom call and those recordings are going to be shared with the rest of the group or in a future class, they need to know that and be agreeable to that somehow in advance. And so think about those legal policies and things as well, and make sure that that is in the introductory material of your course, if not in advance when they sign up. All right, and then when you're planning your actual lessons, and again, this is on your handout. If you go to bloggingsuccessfully.com/FinCon18, you can download this. When you're planning out your sessions, this is an outline to go by. And one of my clients that just came down for a course creation retreat in Mexico didn't go through the course I gave her ahead of time. She got there, she's like, I don't know what to put in each lesson. I was like, well, did you download the paper? Because I kind of laid it out for you. So if you take this, it will help you plan out each lesson individually. What's the title of this session? What is the main point? What's the, you've got that one learning objective for your course, but then each lesson should have a specific learning objective as well. What is the little piece of this that they need to learn at the end of this lesson? And clarify that. And then any subpoints that you have, you can outline those things. I want to be sure to cover this and this and this in this class. Do you have an example or a story that needs to go along with this, a case study or something that you can include as supportive material for this lesson or this particular point? What is the objective? At the end of this lesson, the student will be able to what? Go ahead and write that out so that it's very clear then when you go to write the content or speak the content in video, record the audio, whatever you're going to do, that you know very clearly this lesson, these are the details I need to share. Is there an activity or an assignment? Is there any kind of follow-up work that they need to do once they've completed this lesson? Make a note of that. And then, are there any extra materials that I need to have as I record this? If it's in a video setting, any props that I need, anything I need to show? Are there downloads that go with a specific course that I need to create? Are there extra videos or images that I want to share? Go ahead and put those in your notes. So if you have one of these pages for every lesson that you create, and then another one for every module, there's your outline. It's very simple to do. You just print off one copy for each lesson, fill it out, and then you've got it right in front of you when you go to make that recording or that audio or that text, however you decide to present your material. So while all of us could procrastinate and delay and tweak and fuss around with all of those details, some of those little tiny details of you guys who are perfectionists, that's not going to make a big difference in the end result of your course. So So once you've got the detail in there, I encourage you to go ahead and launch it. Like Ryan Levesque, I love this quote from him, you don't have to get it perfect, you just have to get it going. Once you have the basics of your course created, you can go ahead and launch it with a beta group if you want to have kind of a trial run, maybe offer them a discounted price in exchange for their feedback as you go through it the first time. But get it out there. You can continue to tweak this month after month after month, year after year after year, and you should be doing that, by the way. If it's not evergreen content, meaning it's good now and it'll be the same good in 5 years, you need to be continually updating that course as you promote it each time. But don't worry about getting it perfect just now, because you can always go back and tweak it based on the feedback that you receive, based on the results your people are getting, based on new information that comes out. You know, in the blogging world, we've been blogging since 2007, and things have changed incredibly in that amount of time. So if you create a course today, by next year there's going to be things that you potentially will need to update in that course, just like we do for blog posts. And so you want to continually be thinking about that. How can I make it better for my people? It's not how much money can I make from this, it's how can I make it better for my people? How can I serve them better? How can I get better results for them and make them successful? Because the true result of whether you are a successful teacher and instructor is the results that your people are getting. Thank you. All right, so then step 3, we've gone through planning, we've gone through producing your content, and then step 3 is packaging. You've planned your course, you've put your content together, your videos or your audios or your text. The last step in step 3 is to package it and present it. How are we going to present this? And getting ready to launch it. When you have your content, we talked a little bit about the different course platforms that you can use. Adding your content to those course platforms, getting it put together, the videos, the audio, the downloads, the links. You can even use affiliate links in your courses as long as it doesn't go against the affiliate company's protocol. Okay? So make sure that the affiliate company doesn't have restrictions on where you can share that affiliate link, but in most cases, it's fine to include them in courses. So you can share resources that support your people as they get this result that you are teaching them to get by including those affiliate links in your course. So you're adding your content to your course. You also need to have an email sequence follow-up. So when they purchase your course, what happens next? They should get an email saying, thank you for purchasing this course. Here's what you do next. All right? And you take them to the course, or how do we log in, or where do we find it? How do we join the forum or the group that's going to walk with us as we go through this? Or if there is an independent coaching part of this course, how do I sign up for that date and meet with the instructor? And so you need to have an email platform that works with your teaching platform, with your course platform. The one that I use and recommend all the time is ConvertKit. Again, I'm an affiliate, but they don't pay me to say that. I just love the way that it works with WooCommerce and with Teachable and with several of the other platforms to be able to immediately send that confirmation email to whoever buys my course and tell them what that next step is. Now I have to set up that email, I have to write it, put it in a sequence, and connect it, but it will immediately send to them so that they're not wondering, hey, I just paid this money, what's the deal here? I'm not getting any information, right? So it will send an immediate follow-up and tell them what to do next. You can also set sequences so that day 2, it reminds them about this course they just signed up for yesterday. Or week number 2, it reminds them that, hey, this week is module 2. You should be doing X, Y, Z. If you've got any questions, reply to me and let me know. I'm happy to help. You always want to be super, servicial, I'm sorry, that Spanish word, very customer service related in your emails and your follow-up with your courses, because you are a person. And they're seeing you in that video. They're hearing your voice. They're seeing your actions and your expressions, and they're getting to know you as a person. They feel that connection. And if they can't get a hold of you when they have a question, you have just completely lost trust and probably lost a recommendation. So make it very easy for those people who buy into your courses to get in touch with you when they have a question or when they have a problem with something, so that they can get that help that they need. And just a simple answer to an email one time can take that customer loyalty all the way up. You would be surprised at how people just really love it when they find out that the teacher I'm seeing is a real person and is answering me on the other end. So So don't forget about the customer service aspect of that. You also need to set up your payment system and your pricing as you go into the packaging of your course. And again, this is not something where I can tell you if it's got this many modules, charge this price. I can say that if it's got any kind of video content, I would recommend starting at about $197. Okay? So video content increases the value or the perceived value of that course incredibly. So if it's a few videos, start at no less than $197 and go from there. Now look at other people's courses and what they are charging for their course. Do they have the same amount of modules, the same amount of lessons? How much are they charging? Is it reaching the same audience, the same niche as I am, the same demographic? What would they pay for it? And go from there. And it's not a bad thing to test your pricing either. You can split tests with different audiences. You can start with one price for this launch, another price for that launch, or split your audiences and test different prices and see where that sweet spot is for your people. We have had some courses that did not sell at, when I say courses, it was actually a monthly membership that started at like $17 a month and was not selling well. We bumped it up to $37 and it's selling. So you just never know about that perceived value of your people, and it's different for every niche and every audience. And so if you don't test it with your people, you're not going to know what you should do. So don't be afraid to test things when it comes to the pricing. The payment system, again, this is something that can be set up on your website, or it could be taken care of by the course platform that you choose. Teachable has the option for you to either accept payments on your own website through WooCommerce or something like that, and then give access to the course on Teachable, and I'm using that as an example just because that's the one that I use and know the best. But they also have the option for people to pay right through Teachable, and then Teachable pays me once a month as a subcontractor type thing. So again, they're taking care of all of those payments and things, and then they pay me the balance once a month. So look into that and figure out. If you need all the money right now, then you're going to want to find a way to collect that money immediately when someone buys, and then be able to give them access. If it's something where you can delay those payments and you don't want the hassle and the headache of dealing with all of that, then you may want a platform that will handle that for you. So look into that, especially when you are looking at your course platform. The other thing is, do you want affiliates? Do you want to be able to say, hey, friend Susie, I would love for you to promote this course for me. Your people overlap my audience too. I think it'd be a real help to them. How about I give you a special link that is just for you, and when people click through that link, you get a commission of that sale. You earn 10% of what that was, or 20%, or 50%, or whatever you decide to make that. So those people, especially if you give them swipe copy, if you give them pre-written promotional tools that they can use, emails that are pre-written and they just customize it for their voice and send it out, images that are already created so they don't have to come up with it on their own in their spare time, because who's got that, right? Give them those tools, the pre-written stuff. We call it swipe copy. Give them that tool so that they can just edit it for their voice and send it out to their people and earn commissions from it. We all love it when people do that for us, and we can do that with others as well when our audiences overlap. So if you want to have an affiliate system, again, that's something you either need to set up on your own site that works with your course platform and your payment system, or you need to find a course platform that includes that feature for you. Creating a sales page is the next thing you need to do as you're packaging this. And if you have a really engaged audience, you should already be collecting their questions and their feedback. Okay, so you've got their language to use. When they say, I struggled with this, then you want to say on your sales page, hey, are you someone who struggles with this? Okay? And then they're like, whoa, she just got in my head. How does she do that? And you're using that language right back to them. It's speaking to the inside need that they think they have. Now, you may not be teaching, they may be thinking they need ABC. That's what they're struggling with. And you may know that they need LMNOP, all right? But when you say, hey, I can help you with ABC, they buy into that, and then you can take them to the next level and give them what you know they need. And so collecting that language from them, doing polls in your Facebook groups, asking questions. If you get a question more than 3 times, you need to write that down. Because number 1, people are looking for an answer. And number 2, they see you as the expert who can give that answer to them. And so that is something you want to be collecting their language, either through polls or through questions or the email responses that you get that ask you things. Collect how they're struggling with with those things and be able to use that language back to them when you create this sales page. When you create a sales page, you also want to focus on not the features of my course, not how many lessons it has, not how many minutes of video or whatever. You want to focus on that result. Remember that number one thing that they're going to learn when you get done with this course? That's what they're buying. They're not buying 5 hours of video. They're buying that transformation. You have that message that can change their life. Remember? We changed their day first so we can change their life. That's what they're buying. And so when you're creating that sales page, you are selling that transformation. You're selling that solution to that one single problem, and you're going to show them how to do that step by step. So the sales page, again, the promotional content, whether it's emails, whether it is images, and those things, those are part of what we do when we package this course to be able to present it to the world. Simple is superior. You don't want a course that teaches 100 different things. You want a course that gives one simple solution to one problem. And then once they've got that, and they love you because you're such an awesome instructor, they're willing to buy into the next thing. Now I finished this, now I've got this problem. And you can give them the solution to that as well. But one thing at a time. Keep it simple. You plan, you produce, and you package that course with a results-minded outcome, and then you can promote it to your people and start growing that impact and the income that's going to change lives into the future. You are a world changer. You are a movement maker. Just like we thought we were going to Mexico to have a local ministry, and now we are impacting families all over the world with this homeschool curriculum, you have a message that can make a difference all over the world. And when you put it into a course, you're able to scale that so that you are multiplying your time, you're multiplying your ROI, you're creating a movement, because now look at all the thousands and thousands of people you can impact with this message because you have multiplied that time through that course. So if you'll look on your seat, we've got that Movement Maker Challenge there for you. This is a $297 or $197 course that we're offering to all of you for free with permission today. And I've got my lovely assistant Pam over here who will collect them on your way out if you'd like to give them to her. This will help you take your message to a movement. That is what I'm all about. Your message needs to be out there, changing people's lives. If you want to go beyond this class and learn how to make an even bigger impact, please fill that out and hand it in for us today. But before we get to questions, I've got a couple more examples to share with you. Danielle is one of our clients who is getting ready to release this year a budgeting course. She is teaching families how to change their thinking, how to become financially independent, how to have that income stability that they crave so that they can teach their children how to be financially independent. Danielle was just with us when we hosted our Cocoa Beach retreat for bloggers last week, and she is getting ready to launch that course this week. She's making an impact. It's not just today. It has a generational reach. It's that transformation for families and how they think about money and budgeting. Then we have Brenda Mason is one of my clients. She's a tiny house blogger. She came to Mexico this year on a private course creation retreat. She came down for a week and we just worked on her course and got it done, got it out there. She's actually speaking this weekend at a tiny house festival in Massachusetts. But her 31 Days to a Downsized Life course is teaching people how to redefine their definition of stuff, their relationship with stuff. I don't need to have a house full of 5 bedrooms and 3-car garage stuff to make me happy. And she's teaching them not just how to downsize and get rid of things and clean out their closets, but how to redefine the way they think about what makes them happy, about what they want to do with their life. And those people are going to be able to teach their children how to have that same outlook, and it becomes a generational transformation as this goes into practice. SEO Audit Guide. You guys know Claudia and Garrett Pennington. They are teaching hundreds of bloggers all over the world how to get their message out there, how to have a bigger impact, because their search engine optimization is top-notch and can reach more people with that free traffic that Google sends when we know how to do it right. So these are just 3 examples of people who are creating courses that are making a difference. They're making an impact, not only in the people they're touching, but in their own income. And then that income then converts into more impact because we're able to do more things. That is the power of multiplying your committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that has ever changed the world. And that's you. That's you. Each of you in here is the movement maker. It's time for you to go and change the world and create your course. Well, you guys have been an incredible audience. Thank you so much for being here.